Well, seeing how the singing voice is not what it used to be, I said I'd do a bit of poetry. And for that, I need these bleeding things. I must have great eyesight to be able to see out through these jokes. Anyhow, this is called Mulligan's Bull and the Reverend Mother. Okay? This is the tale of old Mulligan Pat, known to his neighbours simply as Rat. Now they christened him Rat, because although quite rich, when drunk he quite often slept in the ditch. But this isn't the story of old Rat in full, but mainly the story of his old short-horn bull. The yarn goes hither, according to sayings. Rat was well off with money, but a bit short on brains. It's quite a long story, so let's make a start when the bold Rat Mulligan arrived at the mart. An October morning the weather was dull, 17 small ones and the bold Rat was full. For the business of cattle, Rat wasn't there, but to buy an owl ass or a broken down mare. And after an hour neither did he see, so he had a few pints to wash down the whiskey. Now the porter and whiskey will have started to work, then who should arrive but old Snaky Burke. How are you, Rat? Because I never knew that the business of cattle would interest you. I know, says the Rat, it's an owl ass I'm after. And Burke greeted this with a guffaw of laughter. Seeing the Rat was none too steady on the job, Burke saw his chance to make a handy few bob. "An ass you want, Rat?" cried Burke, then he said. "Sure I have one with me round the back of that shed." "You have," says the Rat. "Is he anywhere cheap?" Says Burke, £20 and he's yours for the keep. And his old head he shook. £20, gasped the Rat, and his old head he shook. "Begob, that's not bad, begob, but I'll have to have a look." "Come on," says Burke, as snaky could be. "As big strong an ass you never did see." "Begob, he's a queer one," says the Rat, "no real full." So as he couldn't tell that the ass was a bull. The wickedest beast in the whole of the West, that Burke couldn't sell for a tenner at best. On the way to the mart he broke up the trailer, winded the Garda and poleaxed the sailor. But the Rat coughed up 20 without even a fight. Burke was glad to get the bull right out of his sight. Then the Rat said, I don't suppose you know why the ass has a ring in his nose." "Sure, that's not a ring," says Burke in a fit. "I was broke, so I could only afford half of a bit." "Oh," says the Rat. With that Burke was gone, not wanting to explain why the ass had horns on. "An ass with horns," thought the Rat, but agreed that it must have been some sort of unusual breed. Now the bull was tied up with a rope round his head. If not, half the folk in the mart would be dead. The Rat left the mart and bid them all goodbye, and set about his new ass to untie. He loosened the knot, but when he turned his back, the old bull took off soon as he felt the slack. "Come back here, Neddy," said the Rat with a roar, but the bull went in search of some people to gore. He shot down the road at a terrible bat, through the main street, pursued by the Rat, through the shops and the stalls and the poor old folks' club, and he punctured a hole in the wall of the pub. Then, leaving the town in a terrible state, the old bull tore in through the main convent gate. Around in the garden now things were just fine, and the Reverend Mother was at the clothesline, hanging out habits and undies so clean, until the Mulligan's bull arrived on the scene. She just saw him and ducked, as past he did sail, but his crooked left horn got caught up in her veil. Well, the bull put the brakes on, stopped dead as a stone, and onto his back the poor nun was thrown. Well, the bull swung around, first one way then t'other, in attempt to get rid of one Reverend Mother. He sped back downtown where devastation was rife, and the bold Reverend Mother hung on for her life. He jumped gates and palings, and jumped over a car, then into the pub where he hurled the bar. He went through the back gate made of galvanised steel, and the nun she hung on just like John Joe O'Neill. So the bull kept on going for half of the night. 7 winos quit drinking, having witnessed the sight. Through the forest went the bull, forward and back, but he found the old nun a tough nut to crack. But the nun got fed up, began to rave and to rant, stretched her arm out, grabbed a great big ash plant. "Stop, you great bass," she roared at the bull, and with the belt of the stick nearly fractured his skull. She hammered him solid for a minute or more, until Mulligan's bull couldn't take any more. He stopped dead on the spot, sure the nun was dog rough, and he shook his old head and thought, "I've had enough." She marched him back to the town with a stick to his head, locked him up safely in Rat Mulligan's shed. The rat he was grateful, the nun thought was gas, when he thanked her for catching his poor nervous old ass. Well, everyone went home and all went to bed, but the rat thought he'd just have one look in the shed. In the rat went, and they just closed the door, and a bloody great bull flattened him on the floor. Well, the rat crawled out, his energy gone, when it suddenly dawned on him what was going on. He went down to the convent in a terrible mess, gave the Reverend Mother a tenner for her veil and her dress. He put on her clothes, stepped into the shed. The bull took one look and he nearly dropped dead. Ever since that, the bull's been pet like a pet rabbit, so long as the rat remembers to wear the nun's habit. As for the Reverend Mother, no more convent life dreary. She's the job as first jockey down with William McCreary. Thank you.